So I was so much convinced this is not an accident. And upon following up, the case says the motorbike guy, the owner of the motorbike who carried Zelek Momanyi and Chira,
Yeah.
also a statement that you guys never saw and it was never leaked. But to us who actually have little connections, did have that statement. And we did have a statement of Zelek Momanyi. They were two different. So Zelek Momanyi claims that Chira was carried, blah, 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 blah. And, you know, they were on the opposite side of the road and Chira decided to disappear. He was hit by a vehicle. But the motorbike guy says clearly that actually these guys were heading towards the petrol station. I woman's mind, but not us. So they were holding her to that phone to make sure they are deleting everything or they receive the remaining amounts of monies. You can't tell me anything else. Or probably like Chesoni was saying, there were a lot of coins in these accounts of Chira that they had to withdraw. And the only way to access those coins is with those phones. Otherwise.
And I remember, you know, when they said about, when you said they put him like on the road, when they put him on the road. So I remember this American, you know, this lady who speaks to spirits and stuff like that.
Yes.
She said she sees Chira in a room and they are trying to find some information. So my mind just went to maybe PIN number and, you know, they are trying to find some info. They are trying to inquire something from Chira. And Chira really wants to leave the room. You know, I don't know if you listened to that lady.
Yes, I did. But I did after I've already done my videos. I was like, was this lady watching my videos or what? I realized she doesn't follow me. So I was like, why is the information concurring?
Yeah.
You know? Because when we said, let us investigate this, the first thing I saw, Obi Dandela is on set. Then there was another guy also called Gideon was on set asking this lady's question. She's called Anne Moire. I wish she was here. So I was like, okay, this is where I start. I want to know the location. So Gideon was kind enough to direct me where the location is. I couldn't go at the same time because already there was negative energy between me and the fundraisers. So we had to use a lot of proxies to get on the ground, to get at the morgue, to get to those points that actually Zelek Momanyi was, you know, explaining. So upon looking at the place where they said this was the accident, there is no blood, nothing, just like less than a half a glass of blood is what is there. So I was like, guys, can you stop with this nonsense? You mean you don't know how much blood is within the human body? So when the head is, you know, it's an open wound, you don't know how much blood would be here. This is what you're telling me the accident was here. You know? So I was so much convinced this is not an accident. And upon following up, the case says the motorbike guy, the owner of the motorbike who carried Zelek Momanyi and Chira,
yeah,
also a statement that you guys never saw and it was never leaked. But to us who actually have little connections, did have that statement. And we did have a statement of Zelek Momanyi. They were two different. So Zelek Momanyi claims that Chira was carried, blah, 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 blah. And, you know, they were on the opposite side of the road and Chira decided to disappear. He was hit by a vehicle. But the motorbike guy says clearly that actually these guys were heading towards the petrol station. I dropped the two of them. Around 45 minutes, 30 minutes later, that is when Zelek Momanyi called me again that I should go and pick them. Upon my arrival, I found Zelek Momanyi with two other guys. Okay. And then Chira was down, lying down, and there was blood all over. And that is not the place I left them. I left them at a petrol station, Total, next to Equity. And then he also proves to us, for this statement for me to make sense, I'm like, anyone can come and say that. So what concrete evidence do you have for me to believe you are with Zelek Momanyi and Chira? This guy sends me the transaction, the same number of Zelek Momanyi that is also written in the statement. So upon comparing the two, and the time when Zelek Momanyi says that he had paid for M-Pesa around 253, and then I check this statement, I check the transaction of this guy, it is again 253. I said, oh my God, this is 100%. This is it. So I asked this motorbike guy questions, blah, 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 and he tells me he's in the hiding. Why? Because this guy scared him so much that he had to disappear and abandon his job in Nairobi, hide elsewhere. And I said, okay, I have no problem with that. Just thank you that I wanted to confirm this, and I hope I can forward this to the police officers as well.
What about the motorbike that we were told hit Chira? Because apparently, not just the canter, there was the motorbike that was damaged beyond repair, and that the motorbike rider passed away.
And those were the words of who?
Our one and
Baba Talisha. Let me help you. Baba Talisha.
Yeah.
We asked, okay, it's beyond recognition, but the number plate is not deleted. Where is the number plate?
Also, the pieces, you know, by the road, there are supposed to be some pieces of the motorbike, right? Once there is an accident, there should be...
Exactly. The plastics.
Yeah, some collectibles that you are going to collect. There was...
And then another thing. When an accident occurs, such a serious accident, you can't tell me there were 3 people on a motorbike and only one perished. And the motorbike is beyond recognition. So if the motorbike is beyond recognition, so is the rider. Where is the rider? When did the burial for the rider happen? Have you had any communication with the family of the rider? No one.
No one. And then all of a sudden there is the canter now. It's very confusing.
Yes.
Because between the canter and the motorbike, which one really hit Chira?
Exactly. Exactly. But Baba Talisha was not there. Right?
Yeah.
So what does that mean? The witness who was there with the canter thing is the only one we can buy the story. Because Baba Talisha, according to him, is hearsay. But this guy of the canter was with Chira on the same motorbike.
Yeah.
So you can't tell us what you think or what you are told. What you saw is what counts in. And you were with Chira all this time. You say you went to the police station till morning from 2 a.m. Then whatever you're saying is what we are buying. But since you are saying the lies, leads to one thing. You must be the suspect of this case.
And then the other question is, Truth Watchdog, whenever you talk to people on the phone, do you record? Do you record them? Like, maybe you call your friend. Is it normal for you to record each and every phone call that you get?
Why would I record you? Not even so. The guy, clearly, try calling him. Anyone, try calling him. He doesn't pick calls. Leave alone recording. Then he says he doesn't pick calls of strangers with his own mouth, his own words. So how come these strangers who are calling him, oh, Chira is dead, Chira is done, why was he picking and recording specifically? And when you hear those recordings, they are so much loud, it doesn't sound like a phone call record. You know, when you're recording someone, most of the time you'll hear that the other voice is quite lower.
Yeah.
But these voices are so loud.
Loud and clear. So
I was like, hey.
Do you think it was
Yes?
like forming an alibi? You know how when you are anticipating something is going to happen, right? So
Exactly.
you want to make sure you talk to this one, you recorded, you have a receipt from Mama Mboga, you have a receipt from the restaurant you ate. You know, you're forming your alibi.
So say we record these phone calls. Let us just assume all the phone calls are recorded.
Yeah.
But you are heard on the scene, you are heard on the camera saying, on the video, saying that I don't pick calls of strangers is because I receive so many calls. So how come you picked these specific strangers? Let us say just the phone records. But what you said and what you're doing is not the same thing. So bro, you are lying to us. And when you're recording calls, it means you are recording calls with a certain intention. He's a father, so it means that when the teacher to T calls, hey, excuse me, parent T anasikia kukunywa maziwa na huko amelipa school fees, he does record that as well. When recording calls, it means you have an intention to record that call. It's either for future reference or for, you know, evidence. Maybe you are a very forgetful person. Let us just assume for reasons you are a forgetful person. So if you listen to these recordings, what you spoke during the day, probably as a photo guy, you will have to go through these recordings and see the client whom you talked to earlier and stuff like that. But you said you don't pick calls from strangers. How come these ones you picked? Ken, unatuita ng'ombe. Unajua ng'ombe inakuaga tu kwa section ya ng'ombe zenzake. Ni venye tu uko na kende hawezi kamuliwa. So tulia tu hapo.
And then
mimi sitakuweka kama huyu anaitwa Cynthia. Ken, kama unaona hapa ng'ombe, mamako ni ng'ombe pia, bibi yako ni ng'ombe, ndugu zako ni mang'ombe. So wewe ni ndama. Nongwe.
You know, sometimes it's very funny. People come here, you don't want to listen to that kind of content, but you're still listening and then commenting. You know, guys, sometimes be logical. It doesn't even make sense. You don't want to listen, you don't enjoy what you're hearing, but then you have to comment. What anyway.
So kwa Karumwa na masturbate anatoa hasira na zizi. Kwenda kabisa.
So, and the question with Kioi.
Yes.
You know, Kioi said he tried to warn Chira several times. You know, that leave these people, leave these friends that you're hanging. These people are planning to kill you. Like, he said he even wants Muiti. He tells Muiti, just leave, you know, leave this, leave that. He tells his friends. Oh, okay. They have reported.
Oh, no.
Yeah, they have been reported.
Hawataki ukweli julikane.
Imagine wameni report. Inashinda kusema verify to continue.
Just verify. Do that thing like this. We will continue.
Nimeidrag.
Aha. Waoga nyinyi. Simukuja na ukweli wenu. Waoga. Cowards. They are cowards.